Oh my goodness. Hold on. I don't know why this light is like so bright like this. Let me see if I can. I didn't even do anything. It just fixed itself. I've touched nothing. Okay. Well, guess what? I have recorded this video or started this live so many times. In fact, like I just posted, you're not going to find it. It's gone. I posted the last one and look, I'm not touching the light and it is still adjusting. I'm not doing anything. Um, but there was no sound. Like there was no sound. You ever like say, okay, I'm gonna do something and you do it unprepared, a little messy, and it just don't turn out right? And like you okay, I'm gonna do it. I've been saying I'm gonna do it, and then you put it out there, you go for it, and it just don't, it don't pan out the way you imagined. So that's what happened, and so we're running it back. Running it back is not going to be exactly the same because I didn't script anything. That's between that's it's in the universe now. It's out there, and we just gonna do it again. The intention, and that's what I remember. So that's what we gonna go with. Hey y'all. So I wanted to create this video because I have been wanting to do a live for a while, for a long time actually. But I had kept, procrastinating, putting it off, and not just like I'm gonna say I was creating excuses, but they were actually legitimate reasons. But when you want to do something, it's easy. It's easy for those legitimate reasons to basically be stumbling blocks to uh, be the things, and they sound legitimate, right? It's like I was busy, I had to work, I was doing this, I was working on that, I take this class, I was whatever, right? True, right? And so you can legitimately be busy and have these things going on, but when you are trying to accomplish something, when you want to do something, you gotta say, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna get it done, even if it's messy, even if I'm not fully prepared, even if it's not perfect. And if I do it and it's not perfect, and it messes up, or I mess it up, or something happens, it don't go right, I'm just gonna run it back and do it again, right? And so that's the kind of energy that you gotta have when you're even thinking about divorce, because that's what we're here to talk about. And I'm not looking. I don't think I'm looking at the camera because the light is like right there and it's so bright. But I'm gonna do my best, and then I'll have to go back and see what this actually looks like. I think I just like looking at myself here, so I could see what faces I'm making. Anyway, um, so when you are planning your divorce and you're thinking about it, life can get in the way. There are things that, like, you might say, I know I need a file. I know this is the best thing for me. This is the best thing for my family. This is the best thing for our future. But you get busy. Work gets demanding. Stuff is going on with the kids. Stuff is going on with the husband. You know, stuff is happening. You're like, dang, I can't go. I can't file right now. I don't have time to deal with this. And the next thing you know, the next day turns into the next week, next month passes, the next year passes, and you're like, dang, I never did that thing I said I was going to do. I never filed. I never, moved to this next step in my life. I never took that next step. And so here we are, still stuck in the same place, not moving forward, not making progress, right? So, um, I thought that was it just so happened to be a perfect like correlation demonstration as to sometimes you just got to get out there. So prepare. Yes, know this is what you want to do, but sometimes like you can start and it don't go exactly as planned, and you just got to use the momentum to just keep going. Try again. Do it again, And now that you know, okay, that didn't work last time, we're getting right back on, and we're doing it again. So, basically, I wanted to talk about why I created this channel, why I am even talking about this, because yes, um, women do, more women do file for divorce. That doesn't always mean that women always are the ones that want the divorce. Sometimes, I mean, think about who runs the household. Oftentimes women are filing because the men aren't doing what they are needed to do. Maybe the men want to file, but just like everything else that they just let go by the wayside, they're not taking action. So the woman is just like, now I got to step up like I do every other time for everything else. Let me step up and do this too, you know? So also, not only that, but um, when I knew long before, like many of you, I knew long before I actually filed for divorce that I wanted to file for divorce. And it took many years. It took many years because a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons. Religion had a lot to do with it. Being busy had a lot to do with it. Just life getting in the way had a lot to do with it. But one part is that when I would talk to other women, because I was trying to find out if it was me, because, growing up, religious, whatever, I'm thinking, is it because I'm not content? Maybe there's something else that I need to be doing to be a better wife. How can I be a better woman? And in the end, and now I'm like, this irritates me so bad because I don't think it doesn't appear that men get that same type of training. They don't feel that same type of guilt. They don't get that same type of indoctrination, that like this is what they have to do to make sure that they are being a good husband, that they're making sure they're being a good father, that they also have an equal part in making sure the relationship works out, or that y'all stay together or whatever. They just do what they want to do and they live their life, and then the wife, like me, and like you, are left sitting there like, dang, what else can I be doing? And you talk to other women and they're like, oh well, um, you know, be sweet with your words, like don't talk back. And then, like now they have this, masculine feminine energy thing. And so you don't want to be operating in your masculine. And then it's like, well, one of us has to, if and it ain't gonna be him, then like, who gonna do it? Who gonna do it? So, and then like anything that you say or do could emasculate him. And so you just, tiptoeing around your life, tiptoeing around your house, trying to be this like perfect woman, and it's not working. And then that leads you to further think again, what else can I be doing? I did this and it's not working. Like I'm reading my Bible, I'm talking to other women, and other women are giving you this advice to make you like do, things to like work on your marriage or whatever. And not only that, and that all of the advice isn't bad advice. I'm not saying don't listen to them. Like, do you want to do what you want to do what you need to do to work on your marriage if it's workable. Some stuff, sometimes you got to just throw the trash out. Like if it's rotten, if it's spoiled, you just got to throw trash in the trash because that's where it belongs. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no point in holding on to it just because you spent a long time creating it. Like if it's stinking, if it's ruining your life and everybody around it, not everything is meant to be saved. You know what I mean? So you got to learn that. But what was one of the things that was hard for me is I'm talking to these women, and sometimes like they have like a worse situation than I got. And when I'm like, dang, what you gonna do? They just all seem to have this thing to where they're just gonna stay in it regardless. And so that made me feel like, well, dang, do I have the wrong attitude? Like, am I being selfish about this? Am I not going about this right? Am I doing something wrong? Like maybe, if they're in a work situation and they're, I don't want to say happy to stay in it, but feel like that's the right thing to do. Like, am I doing something wrong? And so that made me, second guess myself. I had like doubts, I had questions. I was thinking like, what else can I do? Like, is it me? Like, is it my mindset? Is it my heart? I'm all like, if it's like, if is this pleasing to God? Like, would he be mad at me? Like, is he disappointed in me because my husband isn't happy? Again, I don't believe that men are having these same thoughts. Like, my wife isn't happy, is God disappointed in me? That's what I'm thinking, right? So, especially like I said, talking to other women. So when you're talking to other people, and they have, similar or even worse situations than you, and they're like, oh, but I'm just gonna stay in it to make you think maybe I should shut up and just be happy, like maybe this is just what marriage is. That's what and that's the messaging, right? Like that's just what marriage is. You're just gonna be miserable, and then it's like, so am I just okay? I'm supposed to just be happy with that? Like that's cool. Like, okay, so I'm supposed to feel like I want to jump off a bridge every day. Like that's just normal. Like we supposed to just live like that. Like I don't know. That just something about there just don't feel right. It don't feel right, and you might be there too. So one thing I want to offer you is a community of women that have gone through it and are going through it, and they're in the description you'll see like a link to an interest group, because I just want to see who's interested, right? So I am creating this community where we support each other for real, and for our betterment, our elevation, our health, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, like all of that. Because sometimes, especially growing up in church, there's a lot of I'll say harmful messages that will keep you stuck, that'll keep you questioning, ruminating, going in circles, having you question if you're right, wrong, if you're hearing God, and all of that. Because I was going through it too. Like if you I have notes. I have pages of notes in my Google Docs of like sermons that I'll listen to and like the stuff that I was taking from it to see if this is what God wanted me to do. It was bad. But I want to offer a safe space where like if your situation, can be saved, you're going to get like honest feedback of maybe this is something that, can be worked out. But if not, we're not going to make you feel like shit for not wanting to feel like shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was something that was hard to come by when I was going through it myself. Also, I know sometimes that women have a hard time deciding they want to leave if they don't have a lot of support. And so, of course, there's going to be a community online. But I also want to make this to where um, there's in person, in real life support. So you're gonna have people in your area to where it's like, okay, um, I can pick up the kids on Wednesday. Can you drop them off on Thursday and stuff like that? So we could actually be there to support each other, because some people, they find it easier to leave when they have, friends and family there. But not everybody has that. Not everybody has that. And that actually, especially if it could be whatever the situation is. I know a lot of like abusive men like to isolate their wives and like move them off somewhere and, take them away from their family and friends. Or even if it's not, even if it wasn't done like nefariously, for whatever reason, you are just not close to your family and friends, or whatever the situation may be, that you don't have that support. We are coming together. So we're coming together to support one another so that you have that support. So that's not going to be the reason you stay. There's going to be somebody that's like, well, um, will make it, he will make dinner on Tuesday or pick up groceries on Monday. And maybe this is something, we can coordinate together with one another to make sure we can still keep our lives going for ourselves, for our kids, if you have them. And it's not going to be like such a huge disruption, So I know support is helpful. Not having that was another reason that I stayed. Being too busy with work was another reason I stayed. Having a like all of that like mental anguish of, is God gonna be mad at me, is a reason I stayed. Finances was a reason I stayed. Lots of reasons. So not only am I wanting to like help you with that? And I'm creating this community. I've also created a divorce readiness guide, and I give you some things that I did to help myself get prepared to get prepared for that. Because like I said, I didn't have that type of support, so there was things that I had to figure out on my own. So I share that with you in my guide, so that you can put a plan in place and make sure that you are, setting yourself up for your exit and your better life on the other side, because there is better on the other side. You're feeling like you're afraid, and you can't imagine what your life is going to be like after this, because you've been living in misery for so long that the thought of, is it really going to be better? You don't even know what that looks like, or maybe you haven't taken the time to think about that, but there's better on the other side. You just don't know what it looks like yet because you haven't experienced it yet, but it exists. I'm telling you. So you can pick up the guide. That link is also below. Let me know if you're interested in this community. That link is below. It's a Google form, and I'm asking you some questions because, like you heard me explain already, like the type of community that I am creating, because I want this to be supportive. I don't want women to feel alone, or that they have to be stuck in a situation, or that they are doing something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Or that they're being selfish just because they don't want to be miserable. That's crazy. But that's where I was too. Like, but now that I'm out, I'm like, and you'll feel that way too. Like once you're out, you'll be like, that was wild. Like, I can't believe I was sitting there suffering like needlessly. You're going to get there too. You're going to get there. I got you. The community that we're building, we got you. And just click the links below and sign up. Let me know if you're interested in this type of support, or what type of support are you looking for. Let me know that in there too. And if you're looking for a guide of, okay, you're a little bit, further along, and you just want to know, okay, what do I need to do? Get the divorce readiness guide, and it tells you step by step, even what to do, like how to talk to your kids about this, finances, planning your life afterwards, all of that. So I just wanted to come on here and do what I said I was going to do, which is go live. It's something I've been wanting to do, and help you do what you say you're going to do, which is, I can't live like this anymore, so let's change it, right? And so let's walk through these things together. And it's like 11 o'clock at night, and I said I was going to get it done today, and guess what? We did that. So I hope you have a good night, and maybe you'll be watching this in the morning, and in that case, good morning. And yeah, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Let me know what you're thinking, what your thoughts are about this. What kind of support do you need? What would actually be helpful to you? What's keeping you stuck? What's keeping you there? What's making it hard for you to move forward? What's making it hard for you to know that you're doing the right thing? Let me know below, and let's stay in touch. Take care of you.